Hello, my fellow Planeswalkers, and welcome back to Advent Commander, where I'm building a 100 card commander deck from Magic Sealed Product. And today's pack is... I don't have a pack. Today we're going to be selecting my commander, and I'm going to go over why I chose it to focus in this deck. I'm obviously playing red, white, and blue as my colors. There are 4 specific generals in those color combinations. They are Narset, Enlightened Master, Numot the Devastator, Ruhan of the Fomori, and Zedru the Greathearted. In addition to these 4, we also have the Fate Reforged Khan, Shu Yun the Silent Tempest, who has the color identity to be these colors. And then finally, we have the partner cards, Akiri Lineslinger, Bruce Tarl Boorish Herder, Ishai Ojutai Dragon Speaker, Krom Ludwig's Opus, and Ludwig himself, the Necro Alchemist. Alright, so straight out the bat, I didn't really want to play with any of the partner cards. They each could bring something useful to this deck, and I could play around with them at some point. I think the best ones for this deck would be Bruce Tarl, the Boorish Herder, and Ludwig, Necro Alchemist. Ludwig just brings the card draw and actually gets people to, kind of leave you alone so that they can draw cards. And Bruce brings the life gain that I wanted to kind of focus on with Form of the Dinosaur. But, like I said, I didn't really feel like building around either of these partners, and it just didn't really excite me, so those guys are out. Shu Yun the Silent Tempest is also out. I did not draft enough combat tricks to make him at all effective, and really I think if you're going to build a Shu Yun deck, you're going to want a lot of targeted combat effects, and really Feather goes great in his deck coming out, but again, he's going to be a Voltron-y general, and this is not what we built. Numot the Devastator, your basic Jeskai dragon. Each of the 3 color combinations have one of these dragons, and they're fine. If you don't really have a theme to your deck, or you actually want to base your deck around Numot, who blows up lands after he deals damage to a player, that's how I would build with Numot. But I actually do have an idea of where I want to take this deck, so I'm not playing with Numot. Ruhan of the Fomori is just a big dude. That's it. He attacks randomly, and he has to attack each combat, and he is a 7/7 for 4. I actually liked playing with Ruhan, for the simple fact that I kind of try and get people in my play group to actually make choices rather than attacking randomly. And he was kind of fun to bring out when everybody would try and throw that back in my face and say, well, maybe you should choose. And I'd be like, well, can't. He attacks randomly. That deck was also focused on coin flips, so I had a lot of fun with the randomness aspect of it. But there's no real reason to play him in this deck. I don't really need a huge dude, so he's an out. The final 2 are the 2 that I want to focus on. The first one is Narset, Enlightened Master. I thought about playing her. I really did. And I took a look at all the cards I drafted, and I just didn't have enough non-creature spells that I wanted to put in the deck to make it worthwhile. So she is fantastic. Just the first strike and hexproof make sure that she is really difficult to deal with, and she is just pure card advantage in the right deck. But seeing as how this is a slightly lower powered deck, and I've got, I think, 21 creatures in the deck right now, I didn't really want to put her in the deck. There's too much chance that I'll whiff. So that leaves us with Zedru, the Greathearted. Now, near the midpoint of my drafting, I actually figured out I wanted to play the Zedru deck. I've had a lot of fun playing with Zedru and just passing around my permanents and gaining a ton of life. Zedra does everything I want in this deck to do. She gains life, she draws cards, she allows me to give opponents useless enchantments once they've done their thing, such as the one pacifism effect I have, or the one Oblivion Ring effect. Actually, I might have 2 Oblivion Ring effects. So, she's really good. And if I get mana flooded, I can just start passing around lands to my opponents. There were a couple of cards that also naturally I could just exchange control of it with another permanent. So I'm kind of happy to kind of work on this deck with that. So that's who I made my general, was Zedra the Greathearted. I love doing this series. It was really fun for me, especially when I did get to talk to some of you offline and see what your thoughts on this entire process has been. Drawback to this is it is kind of expensive. Basically, I had to buy 99 packs of Magic cards. Some of that was mitigated because I play in tournaments and I earn booster packs, but with that being said, I'm not going to be able to start up another Advent Commander immediately. I want to, but I just don't have the resources really. Will say that I finished my pre-release today in first place, so I got a few packs to work towards a new Advent Commander, and I will be receiving a box, so there is that. But that's not 100 packs yet. I'm hoping once Modern Horizons comes out, if I'm in a good enough position to get another box, I'll try and get a box of that, and that'll be way more exciting to go through. Hopefully, here in maybe a month or 2, I should have enough packs where I'll feel comfortable starting another season. Instead of that, though, what I figure I might try and do is do a weekly series on how I'm improving this Zedra deck by replacing 7 cards at a time. If you think that's a good idea, let me know, and I'll be shooting out a weekly episode talking about how the deck performed over the past week and what cards I kind of want to take out and what cards I want to put in just to kind of improve the deck. I thought this was a great place to start a commander deck, but it is not the final product. And if you have any suggestions on how you think I should go about building this deck and tuning it, please let me know. Write in the comments and just talk to me offline if you know me. So, as always, guys, I appreciate your watching, and I'll see you next time whenever I start up a new Advent Commander. So, I'll see you then.